Before we get deeper into the video, I would like to thank today's video sponsors, and that is Into the AM. I'm actually wearing one of their shirts right now. I've sponsored this company many times on the channel before, but if you're unaware, Into the AM is a clothing company that makes some of the coolest and best graphic design tees that you will ever find on the internet. They are always running fantastic bundle deals, which is one of my favorite things about the company. Currently, they are running a deal where you can get 3 graphic tees for the low price of $60 or 3 basic tees for the low price of $49.95. They are also currently doing a massive site clearance sale where some shirts are up to 95% off. And I guarantee you, if you go to this site, you will find many different designs that you love and you think would look great in your wardrobe. If you use my link, which is right in the description, you'll get an additional 10% off on top of the clearance sale, on top of the bundle deals. It's honestly an absolute steal, and I highly encourage you to click my link in the description, head over to Into the AM, and get yourself something really, really cool. You will not regret it. Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Video. So some really sad and, to me, shocking news just occurred yesterday, and that is that Yu-Gi-Oh! Cross Duel is shutting down. Konami has announced the end of service for Yu-Gi-Oh! Cross Duel. There will be 2 events that will occur in April, one final balance adjustment, and then the servers will close for good in September of this year. Now, for those of you that might not remember, this game released globally September 2022. So this game has not even been out for 7 months, and Konami has already pulled the plug on it. Which is crazy. Now, I've always known that Cross Duel did not do as well as I think Konami would have hoped. You would go on Twitch, even like a month after the release, and nobody would be streaming the game. You'd have people talking about it here and there, but it was nowhere near the popularity of Master Duel or of Duel Links. And 2022, we're going to look back on and say, it was a really weird year for Yu-Gi-Oh! Video games, or Yu-Gi-Oh! Games in general, because we had Master Duel at the beginning of 2022, which you could argue is one of the most successful games that Konami has ever released. It's on the level of Duel Links, maybe even a little ahead of Duel Links. And then you have Cross Duel, which might be the greatest failure of any Yu-Gi-Oh! Product in the last 10 years. I mean, it was doing so poorly and it was so in the red that not even 7 months into its lifespan, they pulled the plug on it. That to me is crazy, and it shows how poorly the game must have been doing in terms of active player base, in terms of people spending money against how much it was costing to run the servers and create the new animations and new icons. And, Cross Duel, I think, is one of the more interesting and unique concepts that we've had for Yu-Gi-Oh! So it's a shame that it failed in such a quick and concisive way. And like someone like myself, obviously, if you're not familiar with this channel, I love the anime. I love the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. I love the characters. That's where my passion when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! Has always been. And I never played this game. I never played Cross Duel. I always said, all right, I'll play Cross Duel when it comes out on Steam. But it never came out on Steam. It never came out on console. And I feel like the advertisement of this game and the rollout of this game was really disappointing. You could really only play it on mobile, and this game was a nightmare for Yu-Gi-Oh! Content creators to stream. And if you don't think that matters, I just disagree with you. I think that we are in such a digital age where streaming and ease of accessibility is so important when it comes to games. I mean, you could argue that Twitch is the reason that games like Among Us and Fall Guys blew up in the way that they did. And Master Duel, a lot of big YouTube streamers left streaming Duel Links to go and stream Master Duel, and I think that's a big reason that Master Duel gained the popularity as quickly and as massively as it did. I think it was Farfa, but I remember when Cross Duel came out, I think he tried to stream it I don't know if any of you guys remember this, and it might not have even been him, but he tried to stream Cross Duel, and it took him like 2.5 hours to get it set up because you had to go into like BlueStacks and use all these applications. I even tried to figure it out the day after Cross Duel came out, and I couldn't figure it out. And I was like, all right, whatever. I'm just going to wait for it to come on Steam. And the fact that this game was so in the red and so unsavable in the eyes of Konami that they didn't even bother releasing it on Steam to try to give it a second wave of life. They didn't even bother, releasing it on console to try to give it a second wave of life. They just pulled the plug on it. And I can't remember a Yu-Gi-Oh project being scrapped this quickly after launch. I mean, it really is crazy. So it's all around just a sad situation. The way that you play the game is also, I've heard, a very big point of criticism. I've heard the events are very, at least early on, were very glitchy and not really good. And I've heard the game is massively pay to win. And the problem with that is if you don't have a super popular game at its core, pay to win is going to really backfire. And I think that's what we saw here. I think there was a lot of people that weren't willing to put in the money to play this game. And I look at a game like Master Duel that's free to download, and the crafting system in there is fantastic. Now, Duel Links is interesting, right? Because the crafting system in Duel Links is not very, well, it's non-existent. I mean, Duel Links is way more, it feels way more pay to win than Master Duel does, in my opinion, as someone who's played both games pretty often and pretty consistently. The thing with Duel Links is it really was sparked by that nostalgic anime crowd right when Dark Side of Dimensions came out. So there was a perfect storm of nostalgia with the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters series, and there was a simpler way to play the card game. I mean, you got to remember, Duel Links for its first year or two was just the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters. So that brought a lot of people back into it. Cross Duel, what the characters tried to appeal to more of a larger spin-off fan base. And I don't think the game failed because of that. And I just hope that Konami doesn't look at this and they say, okay, we're not going to do this ever again because it clearly didn't work. And if it's not the main Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game, it's not going to sell and it's not going to make us money. And my one big concern that comes out of an announcement like this, does this increase their hesitancy to bring Rush Duels into the TCG? Does this increase their hesitancy to make more unique Yu-Gi-Oh! Spin-off games? In my opinion, it probably does. Because this, based on the data that we have, was a really, really big failure. And I'm not just saying that because I thought the game... I never played the game, so I'm not criticizing the game or anything like that, or anyone who played the game, obviously. But that's how they viewed it. To shut down servers 6 months after launch, they viewed it as a failure that was beyond saving and not worth keeping around. That's just how they viewed it, and those are the facts. So, does this make them more hesitant to implement new styles of Yu-Gi-Oh! That aren't the main TCG styles for worldwide release games? I think it might. I mean, we've already seen the first Rush Duel game got a full English port. The second Rush Duel game for Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush came out a few months ago, I think in December of 2022, and there's been no news on an English port, and we probably won't get one, sadly. And then that English Rush Duel game never got updated. The card pool never got updated. I don't even think fusions are in the game yet. It's like they just completely forgot about it. So, will this kind of hinder them making more creative titles that maybe focus on the spin-off characters a little more and maybe the newer ways to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Going forward? I think it definitely might. I hope it doesn't, but I think it might. But let me know your thoughts on this, guys. Do you think I'm being a little too harsh in my assessment? And what do you think the biggest reason is for this game just not succeeding at all and shutting down as quickly as it is? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Thank you guys all so much for watching. A special thank you to my Platinum tier patrons, Goosey Q and Panther J, and to my Diamond tier patrons, Jesse Wood, Latrell Smith, and Elaine, and to my Egyptian God tier patron, Pink Penguin. Be sure to check out my Patreon for additional channel perks. Thank you to everybody who is a patron or channel member. You guys help me out tremendously. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to check out my channel for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime content, and I hope you have an amazing day.